Hello awesome people of YouTube, welcome back to another game of Starcraft 2. This is going to be another series from the Nation Wars number 3, which concluded in early January. This is going to be our, actually swap these guys around, it's going to be IG MacSed, who is just known as MacSed. He's from Invictus Gaming and he's representing China. Now he's just a bit of detail, he's former Warcraft 3 player. He has a very good history in SC2 actually. He's got quite a few runner-up places, so he's come number 2 quite a lot of times. Now his opponent is going to be no other than PartinG, who actually came number 2 in the Home Story Cup recently. So very successful player, and of course a lot of you may already know him. He's one of the first, he is the first player ever that I've cast on my channel also. So PartinG is currently teamless. He was formerly of Team Flash Wolf, but he's actually quit them in early January, so no longer on that team. Definitely something to note. The question is going to be, he is about 27 years old, so I wonder if he's going to retire or if he's going to continue on with another team. But just to note, he did quit because his contract ended. It wasn't that he was kicked out or anything. And of course, he's representing Korea, as a lot of you may know. We are on Ulrena, of course. And let's see how our players are going to play out here. So let's have a quick look. Looks like both players are actually opting to go for a double gas quite fast, which suggests that both players might actually go for early tech. Now double gas can lead to one thing, well, two things really. So one, it can be leading to an early Stargate, and the second one of course is early robotics facility. So we're going to see which one of these is going to go for. Looks like both players not yet putting down their nexus, but they might very shortly. Both also going scouting out. Based on timings, it appears that PartinG is a little bit behind on his cybernetic score. Not going to be making much of a difference though, seeing as it's very minor number or seconds. And there we go. Both players starting off with 2 stalkers as well. So looks like they're planning to do a lot of aggressions early on. They're not really thinking of expanding just yet. As you can see, no minerals being stacked for the extra nexus, which to be honest is quite okay. Protoss can actually hold on one base quite well. And they can do a lot of damage with those stalkers. So this pylon just being put in behind in case there's going to be some sort of sneaky oracle coming around. And I like the placement of this probe. He's basically hiding it from MacSed just to basically be able to scout out later on. So obviously the stalkers came out. They're on the way to PartinG's base, but he will be able to essentially scout it out a little bit later on, which is actually doing right now, funny enough. So Mothership Core has almost warded off the probe. As you can see here, stalkers on the way back, probably just saying like, okay, we can take this out quite easily, no problem at all. He's going to put down pylon, no pylon. Okay, so it looks like both players are actually saving up minerals for expansion, so the closeness of these timings is actually quite ridiculous. I mean, it's so close right now. And if you notice, there's a Stargate there being produced, so that's gonna probably be made into an Oracle. Very small map indeed, so basically if you don't spot out the Oracle very fast here, it's gonna be very difficult to deal with it. Now it looks like robotics facility is PartinG's choice, so he's thinking more about ground army, and MacSed of course gone for the Stargate. Okay, so at this point looks like MacSed is coming out a little bit below on this engagement. His stalkers are kind of going to be stuck in behind here, but they're going to have their shields regenerated very quickly here. Now if any reinforcements comes in from MacSed, he's going to be able to take these out very easily. So 2 full health stalkers versus 3 stalkers, which are kind of low on health. Well, they are low on health, but their shields are also very low. I think that the low stalkers are going to come on top. There is reinforcements there. I think he's actually in a position to chase that altogether. I think a better position would have been to just leave his stalkers here. That way he's spreading this stalker away from the rest of his army and potentially forcing it to go all the way around, which of course is a non-ideal situation by any means. Now as you can see here, there is an Oracle. I want to have a quick look if I missed a scout. No, I did not miss the scout. So PartinG is not aware of this at the moment. And let's see what he's going to be able to put off with it. Stalkers pulled off straight away pretty much. 3 probes. Gets the 4th probe and now heading on away. Now he's going to have to back off, regenerate his shields and as well obviously the energy. The overcharge is quite expensive on energy, but at the same time it's so effective for harassment. I mean, 2 little attacks from the Oracle takes out a probe, which I think is a little bit absurd, but then again, it does cost a lot to get an Oracle out. So 6 total kills with this Oracle. I think, by my estimations, about 8 makes the investment worth it. So if you've killed 8 drones with your Oracle, at that point, sorry, not drones, probes, at that point, the time that you spent researching both Stargate, building the Adept itself, and obviously the fact that you could have put those minerals into something else, I think 8 is probably a sweet spot for that. So let's see what he's going to pull off with that. Looks like still only 6 kills on that, so the Stalkers are in place to basically defend off against it. Blink also being researched. Now just to note, once this Blink is complete, that Oracle is going to be quite useless, because as soon as it gets into a mineral line, if it takes so much as 2 or 3 hits, after that the Blink from the Stalkers will be able to catch them up and just finish it off altogether. So he's going to want to make that Oracle worth it while he can. I would have, in his position, now, by the way, there was a Void Ray made, I did forget to mention that. A second one be made. This is definitely interesting. 2 Void Rays in one game. Usually you only see Void Rays versus Zerg, and the reason for that is actually to clean up Overlords. So seeing 2 Void Rays here is actually pretty amazing, I have to say, and I would really like to see some airplay. Now still only 6 kills on that Adept. As I said, once that Blink comes up, it's gonna be pretty much game over for it. So honestly, I think he needs to get another 2 or 3 kills, and then just, I don't know, sacrifice it if he must, because, well, by the time when the Blink comes up, it will be sacrificed anyways. But then again, I suppose, even though while he's not making the best use of the Oracle, I think that it's kind of still being worth it for him at this point. He's denying those Stalkers the ability to move out. He's kind of probably doing it on purpose, so he's showing the Oracle every now and then. He's essentially scaring PartinG into thinking that he could potentially do some damage very shortly, which indeed he could. I mean, if he brings this Oracle, look at the amount of energy on it, 65 already. So he'll be able to kill quite a lot of probes with that, probably upwards of about 5 to 10, depending on, of course, if he has to run or not. There we go, another probe has been taken out there. That also kind of tells him, to MacSed that is, that PartinG is thinking about his expansion right now. Let's have a quick look. That observer is in such a beautiful place, so difficult to see that.
We embrace the glory of battle.
Now, on a 1-to-1 fight, I really do wonder who would win, a Zealot or a Stalker. I think that a Zealot would actually take it on, but of course there is there's also Blink micro, so that could really affect the outcome of that fight. So it looks like PartinG has opted to go for some disruptors. Now he has already got 2 on the field, third one on the way. Now disruptors, just to note, they do one-shot this Stalkers. If they hit a disruption, they will one-shot it. Immortals do take 2, Sentries take 1, and Zealots also take 1. So basically, this small army with 3 disruptors, if you get absolutely perfect hits, you will wipe out this army with those 3 disruptors. Now, getting those perfect hits obviously is a bit of a challenge, but at the same time, these dudes are pro, so you never know. Looks like Twilight Council on the way from MacSed. I kind of am wondering why, though. I mean, Archons are not that great in Protoss versus Protoss, and I don't see it being High Templars. I don't really know what the purpose of that would be. So let's see what's going to go on here. Honestly, it's a bit strange, or it's a bit difficult to predict who's going to come out on top here. The army supply is favoring MacSed, but at the same time, there is disruptors on the field. There we go, 1 disruptor gets picked off. That's actually quite good for him right now. Disruptor and Stalker getting picked off quite handily here. Now, on the other side, I have to point out that there is 3 Void Rays already at the moment. Is that 3? Yes, it is indeed. 3 Void Rays for MacSed, which means that those Immortals and, well, Sentries are okay. Immortals and Disruptors cannot hit Void Rays. That means that it's only Stalkers really that are capable of attacking it, and that is obviously a good thing for him. Now there's a lot of Stalkers here, that's definitely something to note, so going to be a bit difficult to take those on. Let's have a quick count. Looks like 5 Stalkers for MacSed and 25 for PartinG. So Blink Micro is going to be everything here. Let's see what he pulls off. 1 Stalker already blinked to the back. Oh, losing that. Poor Oracle. But at the same time, he gets all the vision. Oh, those are huge Purification Novas. PartinG knows he's got the advantage now, taking out all of the shields and most of the health on those Immortals. And that's 4 Immortals at the same time. So very, very well played here. Now I have to say that these Zealots are probably a waste of minerals here, because of course they can just be kited. But there we go, they're full on engage. I think that the Immortals are going to start doing crazy amounts of damage in the back. They are indeed going to come on top here. Look at the amount of Stalkers just absolutely getting melted away. Immortals are like, rest in pieces, rest in pieces, rest in pieces, because they bloody hell know that there's nothing that Stalkers can do against them. I mean, those, what's that, 5 I think? Ooh, huge disruption there. That was actually brilliant. He took out 4, I think those 4 disruptors that got taken out there. And this just turned the tide completely. PartinG, very well played here. I have to say, if he engages onto this right now, he will wipe it out. There is no hope for this small army to fight off that many Stalkers. And there we go, the fight goes on here. Now the Blink Micro is starting to happen again. Just kiting away a little bit from the Zealots. Let's have a quick look at the production tab. Phoenix is being made by MacSed. I'm not quite sure if that's the best option. I would probably go for a few Disruptors. Disruptors also one-shot once the Stalkers, so definitely would be quite effective here. Oh, a huge disruption, and that is the last Immortal. This could be deadly for MacSed right now. There's only Stalkers versus a bunch of Zealots, and oh look, there's actually one Immortal hiding behind there. So as I said, it's still a very dominating position for PartinG. If he can kite this around very well, if he can continue with the Micro and probably not lose this. Oh, the poor little Disruptor getting taken out, but there's 3 more behind here. Is this the Disruptor Micro going to come out? There we go, Disruption's coming out. A huge Purification Nova again landing onto the Immortals. The Immortals have just been under fire completely with these Disruptors. I think that a Warp Prism could come a long way here for MacSed, just to basically lift those Disruptors or these Immortals off when the Purification Novas are coming out. So this is huge right now. He's done so much damage with these Disruptors that honestly I think that Zealots is just not the answer right now. He needs to get out of that production. He's got the gas. He's got the minerals, but he continues to make them, and honestly I think it is the wrong thing to make. As you can see right now, just getting continuously kited right now by all these Stalkers. Blink Micro also is in effect, so even if you do decide to back off, the Blink will just close the gap and finish those off. So there we go, finally we do have Archons on the field also. Let's see how they fare up against the Stalkers. I think that Stalkers are pretty good against Archons simply because they can of course use the Blink Micro. Archons do attack fairly slowly. Now let's see what's going to come out of this. Supply is favouring PartinG, and quite heavily as well. It's about 13 supply difference. And there we go, the Micro going off again, trying to take out a few of those Zealots before they land. You never want to let Zealots hit you straight on. That'll not end well. Now just one Zealot actually in this base. I'm not sure if that's just a scout or if he's trying to do some damage, but getting taken out very quickly. Now Stalkers have blinked in here. That's a little bit risky, but at the same time, if he can kill off these gateways, and there we go, completely destroyed the surround, but the blink away. This is very well played right now. There's 2 full gateways turned off here completely. So much damage from these Stalkers, and the army supply gonna quickly start to favor PartinG here. As you can see, the gap is a little bit closing off actually, because the Zealots are trying to catch up here, but at the same time, Blink Micro is playing so well. And oh, is he gonna go around him? Okay, so he's going to be able to catch off a little bit of the reinforcing units here. As you can see, he's throwing so much minerals into these Zealots, and I think that because there's so many of them, they're starting to quickly pay off. Because once Zealots do get in your face, if you don't Micro after that, oh my god. Oh my god, PartinG! PartinG! No, you've lost 2 Disruptors, and that could be absolutely fatal for him right now. He had such a good lead, such good disruptions, and now all of a sudden he's lost 2 Disruptors just for free like that. Now 2 Immortals definitely going to be a huge advantage for MacSed here against this Stalker army. So I do think that at this point he needs to back off and build a few more Disruptors. And of course snipe out these Zealots because they are going to be annoying as hell. What is this over here? 4 Zealots probably going to the 3rd base of PartinG just to do a bit of mineral harassment. Looks like they're going to go for this Nexus here. They're going to spot it out, probably deny it also. Come on, PartinG. I believe in you. I know that you can do this. You've got disruptors on the way. As long as you don't miss-micro them or miss-rally them. Would probably want to bring the sentry in as well. There we go. These two just standing there. And there we go. These zealots did indeed deny that expansion, but at the same time getting cleaned up there. So I didn't actually see if he managed to cancel that Nexus or if it got destroyed. Regardless of that, in both situations the trade was actually even. So there we go. Lots of zealots again. This zealot aggression, I actually love it. You don't actually see much zealots these days, simply because people tend to favor units that can kite. But in this matchup, it seems to be working so damn well, and really I am happy to see zealots put into effect again. They were so popular in Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm, but here they just died off completely, so very happy to see those. So let's see how this moves on here. 3 Immortals. What's that? That is about 17 Zealots. 3 Archons. No 4th base for him yet. PartinG is looking to get his one up. It's the second attempt he's trying to do it. And I think that if he manages to get it up, he might be in a better position. Let's quickly have a look at the production buildings. Looks like we have 7 gateways versus 12 for MacSed. If MacSed manages to get up another base and basically increase his economy, he'll definitely be in a commanding position right now. I mean, 7 gateways versus 12. The potential to reinforce units is beyond imagining different. It's huge. There we go. There's a total of 5 disruptors there. Now, these disruptors are going to be crucial. If he loses any of them due to bad placement, that could spell disaster for him. If he gets good disruptions, that could win him the game right there and then. So let's see how this turns out. PartinG versus MacSed. 17 minutes on Ulrena. That's actually quite rare. So, pretty happy. I mean, I don't get to cast this map, and it is my favorite map. I've reached out to some players before on streams and such, just to ask, why is it that pros hate this map? They seem to avoid it as much as they can, no matter what. They just don't like playing on it. Every tournament that I've cast so far, which is ashamedly is only 2, but a lot of games, I've got about 100 games casted at this point, maybe even 110 or 120, and it just seems that nobody likes to go on Ulrena. Best of 7s have to have it because, you know, at this point, obviously you've played through all the maps, but let's say if it's a best of 3, absolutely not. It's very rare to see it. Maybe 1 in every... Oh, there's actually a DT in here. That's quite interesting. Taking out units. Is there an observer? There is indeed now an observer here. Taking that out. But did do some economic damage there. But as I was saying, Ulrena, one of those maps that people just don't like, and I don't understand it. It's huge in terms of, you know, the tactics that you can do. You can do all sorts of rushes. You can get a sneaky base down in here, and basically your opponent won't know anything about it unless you go scout it. Now, total of 9 probes taken out. Where was that? Oh, that was here, was it? No, that's actually mined out. That's interesting. Where has he lost all those probes? Total of 9. Oh, was that in... That was probably inside this base, actually, when he was here with the DT earlier. So that's all fine. Now, supply count is starting to favor PartinG again. If he can get some good disruptions. Where is his disruptors? Why is he keeping them in the base? There's so many of them. Oh my god. There is 7 disruptors here. A bunch of zealots. A sentry. And he's just not bringing them... Ah, I see. Maybe he's just doing this to basically force MacSed to move into his base. And then he's going to use them. Because right now, if MacSed does a full-on engage against a bunch of stalkers, yeah, the stalkers can blink away. They can get away fine. But the disruptors are slow. And they're very easy to kill. Phoenix is also, of course, helping out here. So there we go. The huge engage on here. I assume he's going to back off from this. Definitely not going to want to be taking it on head on anyways, because he does have a much weaker army at this point. There we go. Disruptors. Look at the amount of these guys. There's a total of 9 disruptors here. That is huge. Let's bring up the APM tab. I think that PartinG is going to have a huge amount of APM here. I mean, he's got a sentry there to control. He's got a bunch of disruptors, so obviously the purification novas are going to be absolutely crucial here. So let's see what goes on. Now these 2 zealots probably just going to see if there's any sneaky bases here, and a few zealots actually here as well as a DT. Now if he by some means manages to lure these units away, he will very likely be able to just absolutely demolish this base. One thing I have to say is that currently what MacSed needs to do is actually stream his units into this base before these guys come. At that point he'll be able to very quickly take them on. Now a big surround here from both sides. Actually I think that these stalkers could be in a lot of trouble if they get too close. One thing I don't quite understand right now is why is he not using these phoenixes to lift off. So right now when there's this engage, he could potentially grab a few. Oh, Purification Novas, come on, are we going to see Purification Novas? The engage going off here, there's a lot of feedbacks, but at the same time, there we go, look at this. Oh, there's so much damage onto those immortals. Almost managing to take them out, and these second one's going to do so much damage. Here we go. The disruptor's getting a little bit cleaned up on the left hand side there, but still safe. There's so many of them remaining, but the army supply is absolutely massively favoring PartinG right now. I think that if he pushes out right now, he will very, very quickly end this game. 88-16, and there we go. Finally, GG has been called. PartinG takes this game, the first game of Korea versus China, and PartinG takes it with style. You know, I don't know if I mentioned this enough, but one of the things that I absolutely love to see is disruptor play. They're so weird. They're units that can't attack, but their skills are ridiculously overpowered. But they do so much damage. There's so many units that they can actually one-shot, which I think that, you know, it's a deciding factor. Either you invest this minerals and gas and you lose straight out because you did so, or you hit those Purification Novas and you absolutely decimate your opponent. So PartinG making very good use of them there. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in game number 2. Good luck, take care, bye bye.